All right, another episode of The Martini. As we all know, the Martini is the last setup of the day, and it's what we as a crew always strive to get to on time, efficiently, safely, and together. I have with me Andrew Redd, Dallas cinematographer and DP, Crashbox Media. And over here, I have my boy Eric, producer, director, actor. Eric, what do you think about the do's and don'ts of green screen? You've acted on green screen, have you?
No, actually, there has been a few ideas that I've pitched where I thought just a green screen and a man in a green suit was the solution to my problem.
So you're like a
and
floating
I've gotten so many split answers. I've had a team that I've pitched it to be like, this is going to be way too complicated. I can't handle this. And then I've pitched that same idea over to Captive, actually. You guys know Bowers over at Captive. And he was like, I don't know why they're complicating it. It's super, super easy. What the idea that you have and how you want to execute it is super, super easy. So I've actually have like polar experiences about that. So I saw that on the list today, and I was actually excited to just hear what you guys had to say. So I got some more concrete answers from some people I trust. Because I've just heard so many mixed things where I thought it'd be more cut and dry, but apparently it's not. So,
well, yeah, there's some tricks to it.
I will say it's not nearly as difficult to do green screen well now as it was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
the technology is so much more forgiving.
Well, the cameras
the cameras are more
record
forgiving.
Deeper color. They record in higher resolution to make the finer keying possible. So that is true. That has really helped visual effects on a budget really shine. Yeah. But what are some do's and don'ts of green screen? I think one of them is not to wear green. Like
that, you would think that's obvious.
Not to throw my experience around.
Yeah. You would think that would be an obvious thing. I have done some interviews and things like that with people that maybe aren't used to being on camera, celebrities, executives with companies, things like that. They show up in wardrobe that has green. Mm-hmm. And maybe somebody didn't have the wherewithal to maybe preemptively say, hey, by the way, we're shooting you in front of a green screen, so maybe don't wear anything with green. Or they'll show up and it'll even just be like a stripe, like just a single stripe on a tie or something like that.
Well, see, that's easy to fix in post because you pull the key and then you do a wipe around the inside. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. No, nothing is impossible.
I think
I have a story.
Eve's got.
Eve's got a story.
So,
Eve Butterly, by the way, I just want to make sure I get you introduced. Eve Butterly, script supervisor and continuity. Here in Dallas, Texas as well. Did I get that right, Eve?
Pretty close. Also, I do direct and produce some smaller spots. Years ago, I was producing and directing this really small thing for this company. They made gift bags. And like Amazon, like you can get them on Amazon now if you're buying a gift. But they were reusable. And they had them for every occasion, for baby showers, for weddings, for Christmas, for birthdays, for graduation. So we were featuring their product, and I said, okay, your Christmas ones, you can't have green. Or at least that like bright green, like the Kelly green. You can have like a forest green, but no green. They're like, fine. So I went out and we had to buy all these props, and I had to make sure none of the props that went into the gift bags, none of them were green. Spent days trying to find things that weren't green. Cool. We get there on the day. Bright green Christmas bags. And we were on a small sound stage, not as well appointed as this one. This was many years ago before the camera ready was around. And I had a green screen, but these green props. So I had to go find a blue screen on the day. Called around. MPS had a little one, so I had to send a PA all the way to, an equipment rental place, bring in the blue screen, set it up, light it, and that's not a short thing, especially years ago. So that was like a 2.5 hour delay because the client.
Great way to start the day.
Because the client was, oh, you meant green.
You're like, yeah,
not green. But green.
Yeah, green.
Green. Extra E's.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and the beauty of a lot of technology now, like there are stages. This isn't one, but that's nothing against camera ready. But there are stages where they have an LED wall.
Yeah.
And the beauty of an LED wall, if you're using that as a green screen, is that something happens, like Eve was just telling us, and the client messes up, the talent messes up, the production designer messes up, whoever it is, and they bring green shit to put on the green screen and go, with an LED wall these days, no big deal. Push of a button, now it's a blue screen.
Yeah.
The other thing that's nice about using like an LED wall as your key source or whatever the background is you can control like the luminance, so you can control the brightness, things like that, but you don't have to light it physically. With traditional green screens, we always have to put cyc lights, and I mean, like up here, I don't know if the cameras can see it, but the cyc behind us, there's, I think, looks like maybe 4 panel lights up there that are ideally evenly lighting the cyc wall here. If that were a green screen, it would be a green screen that's evenly lit, and it's a great way of doing things. But also, like an LED wall, the nice thing is you don't have to do that.
Right.
And you have control of brightness levels and things like that. So if that screen is emitting too much like green, because that's something you always have to keep in mind when doing any kind of green screen or blue screen, is the reflectance, the kickback from whatever that is, because you don't want a green cast hitting like the cheeks or the glasses or the hair or anything like that of the person in front of it.
Yeah. You can minimize that by
You can
putting up
minimize.
4x floppies.
Yeah,
or
floppies,
duvetine to kind of mask off.
Even
lot
just
of that
a hair light,
reflectance.
any kind of hair light that you can kind of beat it out. There's lots of approaches. But I think you were asking me, or starting to ask me earlier, some do's and don'ts of green screen.
Yes.
Is that right?
And I'm going to ask you again.
Okay.
But maybe
Ask me.
Lauren with Firebrand Media
Lauren can
helping
ask.
us out today.
Oh, does she have a question?
Lauren, she may have. Yes, please.
I don't have a question, but I mean, I know in my high school experience, when we were doing green screen, it was really hard to like edit it. I think for green screen, you have to be a really good editor, or at least have a really good editor to be able to do it. Because in high school, my teacher, he wasn't a good editor, so he didn't really know how to explain it all. So when I was trying to edit it, it was like really bad. I had green all over me. It was not good. It wasn't really lit properly.
Can I ask you a question about your setup?
Yeah.
Did you have a green screen like 2 feet behind where you were sitting?
Yes, and also it was like a curtain, so like there was like
So
wrinkles.
It was wrinkled and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not how you do green screen.
Yeah, and
or
that's
blue
how my
screen.
teacher taught me. And I was like, when I got into college, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so much easier than
What was your
whatever I was
teacher's
taught.
No.
His name was no.
You're wrong. No, you do not want any kind of like curtain fabric backdrop. You want it needs to be smooth. Oh, well, is someone doing that, or he's changing on the iPad?
Oh,
now.
can you dial that in?
He's changing it as we
Can you
speak.
dial that in
Look
as
at
green?
So, yeah, so
Woo!
he's
So look
giving
at
us
that.
a nice little chroma key background, which is
that
great.
that is freaking amazing. That's pretty cool.
That is definitely an approach with the RGB technology these days. We can change the color of the cyc, the background. That's gone from being a white cyc to now it's a pseudo chroma key green. And with a little more dialing in of things, it could be a totally usable green screen or blue screen or red or whatever you want it to be.
Right on. Yeah, you a lot of people don't realize you can chroma key any color.
Yeah.
You-
It does not have to be green.
No.
It doesn't have to be
In fact,
blue. It could be anything. It can be white.
Yep.
You know?
What you want is just the opposite of the chroma value of the color that you're targeting. So like red is like the opposite of green. So if you're keying something as green, you would put it on a red screen for the best effect, best separation. Because you have that chroma contrast.
Now, typically, if you're doing a person, you don't want to use a red chroma.
Well, that's
just
not
because
what I'm
most
saying.
people have like some kind of, there's a little bit of reddish tint. In most people's-
100%. But I'm saying like if you have a green object that
A green
you want
object,
to
yes.
key,
Yeah,
your
exactly.
best color to key it
Yes,
against is
is
this
red.
chroma value opposite, which is red. Yes, 100%. or orange against blue. I mean, that you get really the best keys there.
Yeah, you're trying to maximize color contrast.
100%, absolutely. That's a good do. You got any more do's and don'ts?
More don'ts. So like what Lawrence was saying, like you don't want your green screen, blue screen, whatever, you don't want it right behind your talent. You want ideally as much separation as possible. If you can get that talent 20 feet away from the screen, perfect. But what you don't want is for them to be like 2 feet, 3 feet. Honestly, you don't want them to be any closer than 6 feet, in my opinion. Anything within 6 feet, you start running the risk of that bleed happening.
Yeah.
Of whatever the color is, be it green, blue, whatever, you start running a risk of that starting to bleed into their skin and all that stuff. Plus, the further out you have them, then you can start employing hair lights and backlights, things like that, to create even more separation from whatever you're keying against.
Right. I've also, when we were keying people on green, and oftentimes there'll be a lot of green material in front of you from the psych stage, is I'll have them lay down like foam core board so it's actually kicking up a white light,
right,
as opposed to a green cast from the floor, and you don't even need it for the shot,
right.
But you're taking away some of that green kickback, which will help the key and make the person look more natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other do's and don'ts? Anybody else got do's and don'ts of green screen?
I mean, the other thing I would just say, like do's, you just want it to be consistent. We have exposure tools in the cameras now, which is great. But before we used to have good exposure tools in the cameras, a spot meter was you had to have a spot meter.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to stand by the camera, look through your spot meter. The little hand. I should have brought mine today.
I have mine. Hey, babe, can you get my gray camera bag? What's that noise back there? What's that ruckus? It's the color green.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, they're pulling out more
bringing
green?
in-
Holy, oh my God.
See, that's way too close to Chris.
This is a do, right?
That's definitely
That's a do.
don't. That is a don't. That's a strong don't. Way too close. But back in the day, we used to have a spot meter, as you remember, to check your values and make sure that you've lit the screen evenly.
Yes.
What you don't want is there to be hot spots.
Thank you, baby.
Hot spots on the screen where it's not going to key very well.
Right. You're talking about. Believe it or not, I have a
There it is.
Pentax. Yeah, Pentax 5.
Okay.
Look at that bad boy. Spot meter, and this is what you're talking
That's
about.
exactly what I'm talking
Luis, do you have one of these?
No.
This is a reflective spot meter.
No,
It is
nobody
a.
under 50 has one of those.
You got an old
aiming
analog one, too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
this is
beautiful.
here. You want
Yeah,
to take
I
a look?
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a.
Yeah.
What's that, sir?
What is that?
It's a spot meter.
Oh,
So, have you ever used a light meter?
yes.
Yes, Lauren, you have.
In college, one of my professors was like, you guys have to learn this. Like, it was like a must. Like, he was like, it's really nice. And when we were playing with it, it was really cool to like actually be able to like use it. It was cool.
So, spot meters measure the amount of light falling on an object or into a scene. The spot that will reflect your light meter. A reflective spot meter measures the amount of light that's bouncing off of a surface, like flesh tones, a wall, or in Andrew's case, he's talking about green screen. So if you're wanting a flat, even light across the green screen, you're getting a more accurate reading with a reflective spot meter because you're measuring the amount of light that's kicking back at you, not what's actually falling on the material. So it's two different ways to measure light depending on what your needs are. But that's what a reflective spot meter is, and it helps ensure that you have a even light, or if you want contrast, that's how you can measure it.
It has been a minute since I've seen an analog meter.
Bro, don't
I know,
date me on this.
It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it.
My God, Jesus! But
No, it's great.
Yeah, I did get it right at the cusp of like when the Minoltas were coming out.
Yeah.
Yes, and I always wanted a Minolta color meter. I never had one, but yeah, those were the shit.
Well, and I have all the current generation latest meters that I keep in my stuff. It's not me flexing. It's just It's because of where the LED technology has gone.
Yeah.
Not just that, but also the camera technology. Sorry, I'm trying to get your little strap to there. There we go. But no, I'm like, I have to have like the current stuff because I work with current
Understood.
technology.
Wait a minute.
So
All
if
right.
I'm using, well, no, I don't mean that in a
The do's and don'ts of green screen with Andrew Redd. The do's is watch your lighting. The don'ts is don't ask Andrew back again. It's like he's insulting me and my spot.
I didn't mean
meter.
that in that regard.
Jesus.
was
How
more
was
of
it
a-
like to work with Cecil B. DeMille?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right.
That was more about like a color meter. Like the color meters these days are more in line with like the LED tech lighting and stuff.
Yes, understood. Yes. Well, salute to you. Thank you for being
Cheers.
on this. Yes.
I didn't mean to insult your meter.
My
I think it's
technology. Oh my God.
I think your meter's awesome.
Analog's the
And the next subject is lighting Citizen Kane.
awesome. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Arc lights.
The talkies.
We're going to talk about arc lights and the exhaust coming out.
Revolutionizing an industry. All right, so that's it for the Martini. I think we're starting to get pretty good and loose on this one. But join us again next time. We'll have another subject matter expert in the business. Our goal is to communicate good tips and best practices on set that can help you in your job and your life, because after all we just want to do is make it to the Martini. All right, Andrew Redd, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate you,
this
buddy.
maiden voyage. Gonna refill on this. All right, that's it for the do's and don'ts of green screen.
Yeah.